The 69th U.S. Open is brought to you by Bayer. Try Bayer Advanced Aspirin. Extra strength pain relief. Twice as fast as before. By Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. By a tonic. Power up your game. And by Ebonite. Bowl to win. A reminder, the Big East Big 12 takes center stage. It's ESPN's Big Monday doubleheader, 7 o'clock. Syracuse looking for first place to hang on to. Takes on Notre Dame. And at 9, it'll be Kansas. They're fighting for the top spot in the Big 12. They take on Oklahoma State. Big Monday presented by Bud Light, ESPN, ESPN 3, streaming on WatchESPN.com and Watch ESPN app. And time for our Geico Championship recap. What we've seen, Randy.
Match number 1, Ryan Shafer had a chance to get up in the 10th, put some heat on Weber. Goes through the nose to leave only the 3-pin. Weber steps up. How about that? Tripping the 9 forward. Sends a little ham bone towards you and I in the booth. Shoots 223, knocks out Shafer's 191. Then in match number 2, he takes on the two-handed phenom from Australia, Jason Belmonte. Jason's fill shot, he leaves the 2-8, which leaves the door wide open for Weber. Weber steps up. Was there any doubt?
Not in his mind. So Pete Weber is really putting on a show here, and he is advanced now from number 4 into the final, and he just looks strong. He looks very calm, very relaxed, obviously very focused and into this thing. But this is going to be an interesting final.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where Mike Fagan plays the lanes. We saw what Belmonte did. He used a little different strategy in trying to go straight and a lot more firm up the lane. It didn't work out for him. Weber's got a great ball reaction. Weber's been here so many times at a United States Open that it's no longer a pressure thing for Pete, but it is for Mike Fagan. Even though Fagan's coming off of a major win, his first major win just a few weeks ago when he won the Masters, lots and lots of pressure on Fagan. He's going to feel it. And Weber, man, I mean, this is his tournament. It's his tournament to win.
And one of the things that's interesting, and you get different reactions to it, if you're sitting there watching as the number 1 seed, are you better off, or are you better off to be in Weber's situation where you have bowled your way through, you're in some kind of a groove, you're warmed up and ready to go?
I think the advantage is all Weber's because of those reasons that you just mentioned. As long as the oil pattern is holding up enough for Pete to play that inside line, feed the ball a little bit to the right, and get it to turn the corner and knock all 10 down when he hits the pocket, I mean, the stars are aligned for Weber to win his 5th U.S. Open.
All right, let's see if those stars stay aligned. We talked about stars, Hall of Famers who are here.
Some of the greatest that have ever won U.S. Open, starting with the great Dick Weber. He was a 4-time U.S. Open winner. Then who can forget the great Dave Husted, the only player to ever successfully defend a U.S. Open title. And then my buddy, the great Marshall Holman, a 2-time winner. Holman beat Roth for his first U.S. Open win. How about Johnny Petraglia, who pretty much put Carolier Lanes on the map where we're at right now. He shot 279 against Bill Spigner to win his U.S. Open. And then there he is, the great one, Mark Roth, taking down Guppy Troop at the 1984 U.S. Open.
Back majors, or will Weber make bowling history and win no one else has done his 5th? The 2011 U.S. Open is without a doubt the most unforgettable finish in this major's history. Mika Koivuniemi going up against Hall of Famer Norm Duke. In the 10th frame, Koivuniemi needed to convert a 10-pin spare in order to claim the title. He missed, handing Duke his 2nd U.S. Open championship. And there's going to be another champion shortly. There you see our title match. Number 4 seed Pete Weber and the number 1 seed Mike Fagan will now go at it.
Weber's averaging 224 for the day, and that's usually good enough to win a U.S. Open.
And let's look at our keys to victory, brought to you by the makers of Alka-Seltzer Plus Liquid Gels.
Mike Fagan's got a draw off of his Masters win, his lone major victory.
He feels he's bowling as well as he ever has coming into the U.S. Open. He thinks that victory that he got at the Masters gave him great confidence. For Pete Weber.
Can Pete Weber keep the intensity at the same level it's been at all afternoon?
We are about to find out. Notice how quiet we are here on the 18th green. He's earned that. And we're underway.
Easy. Easy there. You don't want to start the championship match of the U.S. Open with a big 4 split. Pete's got that axis rotation working. You can see that ball feeds out to about the 10th, 11th board and then starts to bite a little bit too soon. But only leaving the 4 pin. Again, that's key.
Weber after the spare. He will get it. And now we will get to see for the first time today the #1 seed.
The tournament leader is a 3-time PBA Tour champion, including the 2012 Masters. From Dallas, Texas, the king of swing, Mike Fagan.
Fagan's family is on hand to watch. Ralph and Kathy, his parents. Emily Mayer, his girlfriend. I'll tell you, you talk about 2 players who bowl with an immense amount of intensity. You've got 2 of them here in Fagan and Weber.
But 2 completely types. You know, Weber's all out there. He puts it right out there in front of your face. Fagan he possesses more of that, like, that silent lucidity. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of keeps it inside. You don't really know it's out there, and then all of a sudden it might appear. Weber, not so much. All in your face all the time.
We're going to keep an eye out for that silent lucidity. I can tell you that. So that's going to go as a spare. He had a chance to jump early, so the first chance to do something with it, not quite.
Remember last time we saw Mike Fagan was at the USBC Masters taking on Chris Barnes. Fagan throws a 4-bagger to pull even with Barnes. Barnes goes through the nose. Fagan seals the deal right there with that hit and wins his first major.
He waited for you to complete.
Silent lucidity.
Silent lucidity.
There he is.
There it is right there.
You don't see that, you know, the big hooping it up and running it out, and only when it matters.
After he wins. And he'll come in to get the strike.
I'll tell you what, this guy, Mike Fagan, has really impressed me this season. He's really come of age, and he really started to believe in himself and in his game, and when that happened, he won a major. Now he's bowling for a 2nd major. Back-to-back major victories are certainly very possible in the near future for Mike Fagan.
And B. Weber's after that 5th U.S. Open title, something nobody else, even his dad, did not do.
Interesting ball change on the right lane for Weber.
That pin has stood up all day. That
really?
10.
Do that again.
He is still talking to somebody over there.
I mean, are we watching a bowling match or a boxing match? What's going on?
That is. Got it.
It's called sportsmanship, pal.
God, I wish we knew who he was talking to.
We've been watching over there trying to figure out who it is, but I can't. I don't know who it is he's talking to.
Somebody's rooting against Pete over there on that side, and they just said something when Pete left the ringing 10, and Pete doesn't like it and gave it right back to him. At some point, you just got to say, hey, you know what? Just leave it alone. Continue on. Just ignore it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's move on. Let's bowl.
This is the championship match for the 69th U.S. Open. other side.
Wow. Weber goes high the first frame on that lane, comes back and leaves a ring and 10 on the right lane, comes back on the left lane only to leave a 4-pin. Both players playing similar lines now. It's not like we saw in the last match where Belmonte was a good 10 or 15 boards right of where Weber's playing. These guys are right on top of each other, playing the same zone, playing the same part of the lane.
And we'll get his spare. So Pete Weber gets the spare and gives the stare.
You know, the thing about it is that Mike Fagan is from New York. We're in New Jersey. I'm going to have to say that Weber's probably not the favorite in this match.
Based on the applause we heard while we were in commercial break, Fagan actually outdrew him in applause a little bit. Not by much. But he's got a lot of fans on hand here.
Vintage Weber all day long.
Yeah.
Great television.
Mike Fagan, the #1 seed. Got it. So he's rolling. Fresh off his last win. What would it mean to win here? Everything. Absolutely everything. He said this is the biggest title in bowling as far as he's concerned. Couple of strikes. He's already faced Pete Weber once this week in match play. Won. He can do it again. Championship is his. And he'll leave the 10.
Nope.
10 has had a mind of its own over on that lane.
He bowled Jason Belmonte in position round last night. The winner of the match would claim the #1 seed. Mike fell behind early in the match, made a ball change, and I mean just ran all over Jason Belmonte, stringing strikes. Jason struggled with some really bad pin carry, but again, it's all about the maturation process that Mike Fagan has gone through in the last year. This is a different guy now. You know, physically, we all knew that he had some really unique tools, but mentally, he's really got it now, and he believes in himself, and you can see it. His performance this season has been living up to the hype, if you will. You know, the physical ability being there, all the talent being there, and now all of a sudden he's got it mentally. Scary combination.
And Pete Weber finds himself behind early, which has happened in the first 2 matches. Found that one. Even early on here in this match, each of these players has had an opportunity to try and jump out a little bit. Neither's been able to do it yet. Steve Johnson is executive director, PBAA.
Yeah, and keep in mind that the BPAA still holds qualifying in their centers throughout the country for the U.S. Open each and every year. So special thanks to Steve and the BPAA.
Even he's being quiet.
Here's the ball change now on the left lane. Remember, the last 2 shots on the left lane were both high. Weber using the same ball on both lanes now.
After his first back-to-back strikes. And the ball change, still can't get the 10.
God, that was a good shot, too.
Okay, so now he's going to have to do it with hand. He's got kind of the look that he's looking for, something a little cleaner through the front part of the lane, but now he's got to give it some more hand, maybe a little bit more axis rotation to get the ball to face the pins properly.
So only 1 strike. But in this tournament that is often decided by spares, Weber's able to get it, but he again has opened the door for Fagan, who's got a couple of strikes. And here's another chance for one of these bowlers to try and jump a little bit if he can come away with a strike.
Average 217.5 for his qualifying, 217 for match play. Not sure if 217 will be enough to win the U.S. Open title, but right now it's looking like It's not a bad number.
Fagan leading the season in earnings and average. And came back. Wow.
This ball actually was fed a little farther right and overhooked, going through the nose, leaving the 4-9 split. Watch this. It looks like it's right of target and actually overhooks. Terrible break, leaving both the 4 and the 9. See if Mike Fagan can slide the 4-pin into the 9-pin and stay clean.
We've had only 3 strikes between the two. Fagan with 2 and Weber with 1 here in the final. These are the strikes we've talked about throughout the day. You've got to make these spares. Leaves it open.
What separates great champions from champions is how he recovers from that shot. This is the biggest stage of his career, his young career. How does he rebound from a bad break of a 4-9 split? I mean, he's done it all week long. He's performed flawlessly. This is your #1 seed, your tournament leader, fresh off of his first major victory just a few weeks ago at the Masters. Now, how does Mike Fagan rebound from the 4-9 split in the 5th frame?
Fagan trying to win the back-to-back majors. Norm Duke, the last one to do that, was in '08. In fact, he ran off 3 wins in majors that year. See how he reacts to that last one. Gets it back and gets the strike. There's the answer, Randy.
And that's a good sign. He comes right back. He trusts it to the right, gives it a great touch, comes in a little bit light carrying the Wally. That's good to see, though. That's the sign of a guy that's able to rebound from adversity.
Double right here, will you? Just let it go. Nice and easy, good shot.
Pete Weber being his own best counsel.
Leading by 2 halfway through.
Coming off a spare. Came back. Again high. 6-10.
With a spare, we're all tied up. Fagan's working on a strike.
Stay down with it, Pete. Stay down with the ball.
It looked like he tried to help that one, and when he did, the ball checked early and went through the nose.
He's had only 1 strike in this match, and we'll get another spare. And you could see a little thankful that that one came through.
Remember how dialed in he was the first 2 matches, using the same bowling ball for both matches? Well, now he's changed to a different piece of equipment, and the reason is because the oil pattern has changed enough to where he had to make an adjustment. He wasn't able to stay in that comfy zone for more than 2 games. He had to go to something a little less aggressive as he continued to migrate towards the center part and left part of the lane.
Yes. So he gets his first strike on that lane and just his second of this match. So he keeps the pressure on.
Gary, I told you it's going to be all about touch now for Pete to get his ball to face the 1-3 pocket the right way and get all 10 to go down. It's all going to be touch and feel at the bottom of the swing.
Whoever will watch now as Mike Fagan will come back. Fagan has 3 strikes, including 1 in the 6th. Even.
Last time on this lane, 4-9 split.
Big bend and got him. Ooh, thank you. Let me gently walk away.
Well, the last time on this lane, remember, he lives a 4-9 split. This time, almost the pocket 7-10. Light squish zone, ball goes in, scatters the 7, and then the 10 goes out. A little redemption for Mike Fagan on the right lane, and he takes a 10-pin lead.
That's his 4th strike, 2 in a row. So here's another really big. They're all big balls here, but this is a real chance now if he can throw another strike here. Fagan, the #1 seed, trying to beat Pete Weber. There's that 10. Each time so far in this match where either bowler has had the opportunity to really jump a little bit in that lead, not been able to do it.
Not easy to strike on a U.S. Open oil pattern. You see that the last two strikes we saw, both players came in a little light. Mike Fagan trips out the 7-10. Weber just that little switch zone. Fagan comes back, throws a good shot, leaving the soft 10.
Fagan after the spare.
Still a 9-pin advantage. Weber working on a strike, but Weber has yet to throw 2 strikes in a row.
So he's going to re-rack here. Coming up next week, coverage of the World Series of Bowling continues. The Geico Shark Open. Mike Koviemi, Chris Barnes, Jason Belmonte, and Sean Rash will square off an eliminator competition. That's going to be next Sunday at 3 Eastern. Boy, we have had great matches here. And this one, the final for the championship of the 69th Open, following right in line with the others. Weber, the #4 seed, trying to win it, having to climb the entire ladder to get there. And Fagan waiting, watching the #1 seed, bowling for the first and most important time today.
That's got a hook.
Oh, baby, yeah!
He knew it.
And with that shot there, he takes a 1-pin lead. Weber's got to somehow summon his greatest shots in the next 3 frames.
That's got a hook.
Oh, baby, yeah! And when I say 3 frames, I mean 9th, 10th, and 11th. If Pete Weber strikes out, he'll shoot 236. The best Mike Fagan can shoot is 225. If Pete strikes here in the 9th, nothing Mike Fagan can do can shut out Pete Weber and his quest for his 5th United States Open victory.
After 3 consecutive strikes. Got it!
That's a bad man. I don't know what else to say. That's just what a great touch that Weber put on this shot here, along with the last 2 for a 3-bagger. There's that sick rotation. And there's the Pete Weber vintage reaction.
So now it's up to Mike Fagan to try and keep himself alive here. Coming off a spare. Both have had 4 strikes in the match. Focus, focus.
Oh, wow. That was pretty good right there.
Yeah, that was very good right there, given the circumstances. That was just a great shot. And the last thing Mike Fagan needed to see was an ugly, vicious, ringing 10-pin.
Fagan after that spare, and he's got it, but that's not what he wanted there after that strike, and couldn't get it.
All right, if Mike Fagan strikes out, he shoots 214. Right now, Weber's going at 216. We've seen it happen before. We saw it happen last year at last year's U.S. Open when Norm Duke got up and threw the last 4 in a row to force Mika Koivuniemi to mark. Mika gets up and leaves the ringing 10 and misses it to give Norm Duke the U.S. Open title. Now, Mike Fagan needs all 3 in the 10th frame to make Pete Weber show up in the 10th.
Weber finally looks up, watching Fagan. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Keep the thumb on. Some very pressured bowling going on here in this final. Now he wants to do it again.
Remember, the last 3 strikes that Weber's thrown have not been picture perfect. In fact, I believe all 3 have been in the light swish zone area. It's not like it's 10 in the pit. 2 more strikes here for Fagan. Anything can happen. Weber's been sitting on the bench now for a while. He watched the 9th frame. Fagan has to finish the 10th frame. Weber's sitting. Weber's 49 years old.
Body stiffens up a little.
Yeah, you never know.
Wow. Boy, you talk about getting them when you needed them. The #1 seed, Mike Fagan, coming through with the strikes that he had to have. And now down 2. So Fagan will finish it up. And that'll give Weber time to sit and think.
Fagan's in no hurry to finish this.
No.
You notice how much times?
No.
I mean, he's not doing anything wrong. I mean, as long as he throws it, throws this shot within the 25-second shot clock. But he's using all of it right now, making Weber think about this next shot he has to throw.
Fagan finishing it up with a strike. 3 in a row for Mike Fagan.
All right, it's simple for Pete Weber. 9 spare strike, Weber wins by 1. A strike here in the first ball, Weber wins his 5th United States Open championship. If Weber gets 8 on this first ball, we have the possibility of a tie. If Weber gets anything less than 8 on this first ball, Fagan wins. Weber taking a re-rack.
No, I was talking about the second find.
Even more time in between this shot here and the strike he threw in the 9th frame.
I don't think his wife Tracy is going to be able to watch as loose as we've seen him all day with the smile. Pete Weber after the 5th U.S. Open championship. Fagan will watch. No one's ever won 5. Hands up. That's it. Not yet.
My goodness, what a great shot Weber just threw right there. He needs to convert the 10-pin here, and he needs to strike on his fill. This was about as good as you could possibly throw a 15-pound round bowling ball, and Weber can't believe the 10-pin standing. He's got to make it.
He thought he had that.
Got to make it.
For the spare, he's missed one, but not that one.
He's got to have a strike. If he gets 9, we have a tie, and we'll go to sudden death. If he gets anything less than 8, Fagan wins sitting on the bench. Excuse me, anything less than 9, Fagan wins sitting on the bench.
Balls out.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And he got it!
That is right, I did it! That's number 5! Are you kidding me? That's right! Who do you think you are? I am! Get it right!
Bowling history. The only player ever to win 5 U.S. Opens. Pete Weber.
Great ball in that. Nice ball this week, really.
This might be the best title of my life. I love it. Mom, what do you think? Dad, I know you're watching too.
He said this would be the highlight of my career. He got it. The 69th U.S. Open is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. By Hammer Bowling, nothing hits like a hammer. By Barbasol, start your day cool with new Arctic Chill shaving cream from Barbasol. Better buy Barbasol. And by Roto-Grip, the fastest growing bowling ball brand in the world. Roto-Grip is king of them all. And speaking of king of the ball, here's the shot that won it to Pete Weber. Pete Weber came in as the number 4 seed. He is number 1 when the day is done. There you see the final. 1 pin, 215 to 214 over Michael Fagan, and makes bowling history. And with it, here's Randy.
Thanks, Gary. I'm here with the Webers. Pete, one of the most exciting U.S. Opens that I can remember. Take us through the 10th frame, and specifically the fill shot. What went through your mind?
I guess I kind of like Norm. I really don't know what to say, you know. I knew I needed a strike to win, or a 9 spare strike to win. I got up and I threw the first one just as good as I threw the second one. I'm really shocked that the first one didn't strike, but you know, you can still, in this game, you still throw it the best you can, still get 9. But then again, I came back and I threw it just as good as the first shot, and all 10 went down, and I'm ecstatic. I don't know what to do.
What do you think your dad would say if he was still here?
Way to go, Pete. That you threw the ball like you should have. You hit the pocket. You struck. You won. You can't do much more than that. And it's just, wow, I know he was up there watching. Thanks, Dad. Sorry I had to pass you, but that's all right. And I know he's there right with me, so everything's great. Everything's great.
Tracy's holding the hardware. Tracy, what was it like for you sitting back there watching this all unfold?
I told you, don't ask me any questions.
Too late.
It's never easy. It never gets any easier. And I'm speechless. He's amazing. He's simply amazing.
No, it really was an amazing, amazing 10th frame, amazing tournament. Pete, does this go down as the all-time best performance in the history of Pete Weber?
Well, I said after I threw the last strike and I picked up the trophy, it was like, this might be the greatest victory of my career right here. This is just too much for me right now. Like I say, I'm speechless, but number 5 U.S. Open is the best title of my career.
Thanks, Pete. Congratulations. Enjoy, guys.
He said last night, I am still young at heart. Well, there he is, the age of 49. A very young at heart performance in this one as he passes his dad with his 5th win, his 9th majors title. But no one's ever won this U.S. Open 5 times until today. Wow. Coming up next week, coverage of the World Series of Bowling. It'll continue with the Geico Shark Open. Mike Coviami, Chris Barnes, Jason Belmonte, Sean Rush. They are set to square off in the eliminator competition. And that's next Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. So that's going to do it. We hope you enjoyed it. It was a tremendous 69th U.S. Open here in New Jersey. For Randy Peterson, I'm Gary Thorne. On behalf of all of our crew, this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Adieu.